Hey guys, it's Joe here from Accentuate Personal Training. Just wanted to chat to you about mobility, what it is, what it can help, how it reduces some injuries, and when we should do it. And then I'll give you a couple of exercises just at the end to maybe kickstart your journey into some mobility. So what is mobility training? So it's a little bit different, or shouldn't be confused with just normal stretching. Normal stretching is thought of more of like a passive range of motion. So essentially we get into a stretch and we hold that stretch for an extended period of time, however long you want to do it for. And dynamic movement is what's considered mobility. So that is similar to stretching, but essentially we're moving in and out of that stretching movement, and we're trying to increase the range of motion through active range of motion, which has been shown to greatly increase your overall range of motion better than stretching does. So what it can help is it can help reduce the risk of injury. One, because our joints can move through a greater range of motion. It helps to increase the length of the muscle fibers, therefore being able to produce more force, having less tight spots like those trigger points we talked about before. It can help to increase your performance, so when you're going for a run or whatever sport you may play, whatever activity you might do, because those muscle fibers are a bit more pliable and can produce more force, it may help us to run for longer. With the joints being a bit more having a bit more movement in them as well, you shouldn't pull up too tight in those areas, hopefully, as well. The last thing is it can correct postural issues. So obviously a lot of us sit for our jobs these days, so we sort of end up in that computer position with our hips bent and our shoulders rounded. So getting through full range of motion, maybe doing some thoracic extension work down on the foam roller, which I'll show you in a minute, can help to realign the spine and realign a little bit more of the correct posture. When you should do it is about 3 to 5 times a week if you can. It only takes about 10 to 20 minutes, depending on which part of the body you're working on. If you may just be working on the hips, or you may be working on the upper body, or you may do a full body mobility routine. But we want to try and go 3 to 5 times a week, purely just so we're getting that full range of motion as much as possible during the week. Otherwise, if we just do maybe one session, yes, you'll get a little bit of change maybe on that day and maybe the next day, but it won't last throughout the week or further on than that. So I'll go through a couple of drills for you, very common ones that can help with obviously that postural position we talked about before. So we put the foam roller on the floor. We put it just below our shoulder blades, running sideways across our back. We want to get our hands, put it behind our head, interlace our fingers, bring our elbows together as much as possible. Now from here, keeping our hips on the floor, we're just looking to extend over the foam roller and then come back up. Now you get it again. You're going to do this for repetitions. You may do this for maybe 10, 20 repetitions, just working your way through it. Then if you want to, we can roll down the foam roller just a little bit more. So working more of the upper back. Again, interlace the fingers and roll over the foam roller. Another one that we can do, very simply, is called the world's greatest stretch. This is more of a whole body stretch. This is going to stretch out our hip flexors, our glutes, a little bit of rotation through our spine, which we all can do a bit more with. Can also help to stretch out the hamstrings as well. So it's a great stretch for introducing into a whole body routine. So from here, feet side by side, what we're going to do is we're just going to slowly bend down until we get to our toes. If you can get to your toes, great. If you can't, just start to go out in front of yourself a little bit. Touch the floor, and we're just going to slowly walk our way out, keeping those hamstrings pretty tight. Pretty straight, work our way out. From there, you're going to bring your left foot as far forward as you can. Right? Doesn't have to be beside your hand. If you can't get there yet, back here is fine. Just try to get that as much as possible. From there, we get our left elbow. We drop down to the floor as much as possible. And then from there, we open our chest up to the sky.
come back down, we touch the floor again, bring that foot back, and then we walk our hands back up. And we come back up nice and tall, and then we go back down, and we work through the other side.